Hey guys, and welcome to the horror room. Got another update. Got some more videos. Used the rest of my store credit, but I think I got some pretty good stuff considering. So, hey guys, and welcome to the horror room. I'm back with another small update video. I went back out and used the rest of my little store credit that I accumulated, and I think I picked up some other great movies. So I'm going to share those with you. Not as many as the last little bit of haul, but I think I got some pretty good ones. A lot of ones that I was missing. First, we have the Dario Argento's opera from Blue Underground. This is a giallo film that I was missing from my collection, and it's got the infamous scene where the needles are taped underneath her eyes. So I'm really excited to watch this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be you know, pretty crazy. Definitely have to check this out. And who doesn't love a good Dario Argento movie? So I'll be happy to finally get to watch that one. Next, we have one that I did watch and I was excited to own and so glad to find it. And that's Oddity. This movie is really creepy. Definitely a slow burn type movie and a little bit of a whodunit. But the ending, ooh, creepy as hell. And I was just like, ah. Um, this and stop motion were ones that stood out for me. I should have bought stop motion after I watched it because it was great. And this was another one that I was like, I got to get this movie. But I wanted to wait till I found them for cheaper. I probably paid about the same price getting it that I would have gotten it from the store, but just store credit wise. So it was technically free, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Next, we have a box set that it's lacking a little bit in the artwork department. But I was missing these movies. I got the Phantasm 5 movie collection. Now, I've only seen the first three, and it's been a while. Um, and like right here, that's weird. Wait a minute. I think. Okay, I'm very confused. Okay. So I didn't think about that. Well, somebody put their copy of Phantasm 2 by Scream Factory in here. So I think that's wrong. I literally just noticed that. Because I did open it up before I got home, and I was like, it's weird that this is the only one that has artwork on it. Um, I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's just kind of odd. Thanks, I guess. I mean, as long as it's all five of the movies, because like I said, I've only seen the first three, and I eventually do want to watch all these, kind of like with the Children of the Corn. Um, so yeah, I'm happy to add that to my collection. Next, we have our Blu-rays. I had to splurge and get some Blu-rays. Now, I will say they had the box set for Critters and The Fly there for like, I think they were $35, and I was really tempted by the Critters one because I have like the 4-pack DVD, and it's all right. It's fine. But that's what I was like, what? I don't want to get something I technically already have. I'd rather get some stuff like the Phantasm one. You could say, oh, you have some of those, but I don't have all of them, so I can justify getting that versus Critters, which I can technically already watch. Anyways, this one was $5. I said, you know what? Why the hell not? It's not a terrible sequel, and it's been a while since I've seen it. I saw it in theaters, and that's Happy Death Day to You. I do like the first movie a lot. The second one was a little lacking, but it was fine. And I for $5, I'll revisit this movie. I'm sure it's gonna be at least entertaining. Um, Next, we have another giallo that I did not have, and I was excited to pick up, and that is Torso, another Blue Underground. So maybe I'll have to have a back to back and do this and opera back to back, or Yeah, opera. I don't know why I was thinking it had a different name. This is a Sergio Martino film. Now, that name I'm not too familiar with. Maybe I've seen one of his films. Maybe I own one of his films. Um, when you got this many damn movies, it's hard to keep track sometimes of what you know and what you haven't. Now, you hit me with Fulci, you hit me with Argento, you hit me with Diodato. I know those guys. I've watched their movies, so of course. Um, Next, we have one that I had the remake, and I was like, you know what? I don't have the original. I have to get the original, and that is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Man, talk about a creepy ass movie. And the remake, I haven't seen the original, but from what I gather with the remake, it's very faithful, and it kind of treats this as if it's a real event, and they made a film based on the real events, so it's kind of like this meta remake. Um, and you, of course, you got this, classic sackhead looking killer like Friday the 13th Part 2. Um, but what struck me as awesome, and I didn't even know until I looked, and I was like, what is this? What's The Evictors? It comes with a bonus movie called The Evictors. A nice young couple bleh, move into an eerie house located in a small Louisiana town, unaware of its violent history. Soon they find themselves tormented by the previous owners. Okay. So that might be an interesting movie. And hey, it's an extra one that I wasn't sure of that I was going to get. So last but not least, we have two films that I was like kind of curious about. Well, one of them technically I've seen before. And I'm not going to lie, I was not the biggest fan of it the first time I saw it. But I saw this edition and I said, ooh, that is nice. And I was like, you know what? I'll give this film another shot. And that's Rawhead Rex. This is a Clive Barker. He wrote the film. Yes, Clive Barker wrote the film. And people shit on Nightbreed and stuff like that, or some of his other earlier works. This is one, though, that I don't see people talk about a lot. You got the classic cover right there. I wonder if it's got a reversible cover. Oh, it does. I think it's the... Yeah, it's the classic one. Actually, I'm gonna switch that one around because I like that one a little bit. This one's all right, but there's just something about that one. That's like classic movie rental style. Hold on. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of these reversible covers. I love that option. I wish more companies would do that with their releases because it's like you get bored with one art style, you can flip it around. You got this little booklet in here. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see if I can grab it. I Don't Believe in the Devil. Rawhead Rex, a folk horror. So, kind of like a little... We got a little mini poster. Aww. Oh, you got this cool artwork. That's pretty cool. That's probably Clive Barker's artwork. Nice. Okay. So you got that. Oh, concept art by Paul Catling. Okay. So, yeah, different guy. And this was released by KL Studios. Come with a booklet. So, I want to check this booklet out and see what else they have. Lots of police and action movies. We got a Charles Bronson movie in here. Mr. Majestic. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. That's a good one. We got lots of action, adventure. We got Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Eye for an Eye. Okay, we got some crazy stuff. Tales of Terror. So I got some old stuff. The Man with the X-Ray Eyes. Okay. The Challenge. Duel at Diablo. Lots of older films. I'm trying to see if there's any more obscure stuff in here like Rawhead Rex. Mostly it looks like Atomic Age and very like 60s, 70s horror type stuff. Nothing, The Skull is in here. The Screaming Skull? No, just The Skull? Okay. So yeah, KL Studios, they might be a little lesser known company, but check them out. At least they have Rawhead Rex for sure. Um, and I have a friend that he loves Rawhead Rex now, so he's probably going to be pissed that I got this. And I don't even technically enjoy the film like he does. And last but not least, we have a David Cronenberg film, which I'd never heard of. I kind of mistook it for another movie called Squirm. And then I checked it out and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this because it gives me Slugs vibes. Now, if you know that movie, Slugs is great. But you know, David Cronenberg. So it's Shivers. I'd never heard of this movie. I watched the trailer because I actually just watched this movie right before I filmed this. And I got to say, the trailer is great. If you've never seen it, look up the trailer. It's one of those classic, like, if you are afraid of the dark, if you thought you've seen it all. It's like so schlocky, but it's fantastic. I love those old trailers. So Cronenberg's earlier work is a little more in your face, a little more visceral than some of his later films, which were more subdued. This one, I can definitely say, this is like George Romero's Crazies meets The Sadness. That's a wild take to give, but let me explain. You got these slug parasite things, kind of similar to Night of the Creeps, and they're infecting people and they're making them horny and sick. Like it's bizarre, and they cross a lot of lines in this movie. There's children and leashes, and it's just weird. I don't want to give too much away, but if you like dystopian, like just kind of like movies where you're like, they're trapped in like this kind of futuristic apartment, futuristic for the 70s, anyways. Kind of gave me Dawn of the Dead vibes, where they're in the mall and the mall has like practically everything you'd ever want. Well, there's this like giant hotel or whatever, and they got stuff in the hotel. Like they got a doctor, they got a delicatessen, they got a fucking pharmacy. So all these people, and shit's going crazy. You got this doctor, this guy with the gun on the back. Don't know if you can see him. I don't know. He's like a poor man's Clint Eastwood, I guess. But I'm not going to give too much about this movie away. But it's a David Cronenberg movie, so you should know it's going to be very violent. It's going to be very gross. Even for that time, you know, they had the bright red blood, which looks like paint. Very, like I said, reminiscent of Dawn of the Dead. But it's fun. It's fun. There's a scene in this movie, though, that made me laugh so hard. So, like, the doctor is looking for his nurse, and she's gone to find him, you know, that whole thing. And she stumbles across a dead body and goes into the parking lot, and she's being attacked. Because one of these people that's infected is, like, attacking her and trying to have his way with her. And the doctor comes over, shoots the guy. The guy's on top of the woman, mind you. He shoots the guy just like bam, bam. And it's like, dude, whoa. The guy's not raised up or anything. He's on the woman. Could have shot right through, killed the nurse. He didn't. So they get in the car and they're driving away. And meanwhile, after this gun goes off, there's like a guy, looks like he's trying to get it on with some lady in the parking lot. He stops what he's doing and gets in his car. So they're going to open this gate to get out of this parking garage underneath the hotel, right? And the doctor backs up, he backs into a fucking pole, wrecks the back of the car, and then he's trying to pull out, and the other guy that heard the gunshot, that got in his car and sped off, comes around the corner and just T-bones the fucking car to oblivion. And some of the best cutting I've seen, because it did not look like they cut away. It looked like that car hit it, and the doctor was instantly like, what the fuck? And I swore the nurse was dead, because this car is just like crushed between this blue car and the driver, of course, of the blue car is dead. And his windshield's all fucked up. The doctor's car, despite being in a fucking 90-degree angle, the windshield is perfectly intact. And he just kind of pushes it out and it like wobbles down on the hood of his car. It just blew my mind and it made me laugh so hard because I'm like, what? And this guy's like dragging the nurse out of the car too. And somehow she's fine, but you find out a little bit later what's going on with different people. This movie was a trip. I gotta say, I think this would be a great double feature with George Romero's The Crazies. Pretty crazy. It's Cronenberg at its finest. It's probably similar to movies like Rabid, which I wasn't a big fan of the original. I do still want to watch the remake. Maybe I should buy them both and do a comparison. But I would definitely say check this movie out if you like Cronenberg and you're looking for something a little older. So yeah, there you have it. I got a little bit of new movies. I'm hoping to make this a weekly habit, but money's tight. I'm trying to save up for the horror convention, or not the horror convention, the VHS convention coming up in a couple months. I kind of made a little bingo card for tapes that I'm looking for. One of them is Halloween 3 because I've been after that for God knows how long. And I actually had a chance to get it, but it was way out of my price range. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I don't want to pay that much for Halloween 3. I have it. I have multiple copies on DVD. I don't need the VHS. It's just a little once. So yeah. There you have it. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll be back in another midweek video with some more pickups. Fingers crossed. That was not crossed, but okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video that I put out Sunday. And there's going to be another one coming up this Sunday, of course. Check out the posts. Sometimes I do little questions. Been trying to share, just some random fun images. Kind of working on the shorts. I'm not too happy with the shorts, though, because I uploaded one, and it was just a shot. Here, I'll show you. It was just the shot of my TV, had the lights out, had, some spooky lighting, and I was playing some footage from Boogeyman. The horror compilation. I can't even point. There we go. Hard to do that. Yeah, so I was playing, some footage from Halloween. The closet scene. I wanted to play the full minute. Maybe that was not allowed. It's probably the fucking music. I don't know. It's just stupid. It's stupid. And the picture was not even that great. I was going more for the ambiance, not like oh, hey, guys, here's a minute of a movie that you've probably already seen. But what are you going to do? So I got to think of some more ideas for the shorts. I was kind of thinking of maybe doing more of when I showed off, if I can grab it. Here, I'll just grab the smaller one. Like when I showed off Class Reunion Massacre, but I showed off the big box, cut in the audio from the trailer, stuff like that maybe. I do eventually need to do a review of this, talk to you guys about this, because this is one of my favorites. So yeah, there you have it, my newest additions, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.